Greetings everyone, my name is Tony Holowitz and I want to thank you for being here for this ACT tutorial. I have a client that has many ACT users and they have a new person coming on board. And when she starts using ACT, she's never used it before and they have an established database. And I started thinking about it, I said, what is it going to be like for her to first look at ACT? How is she going to perceive what she sees on the screen? This is an ACT demo database that I use in some of these tutorials. And I was trying to put myself in her place and say, okay, what is it I'm going to see when I open this up? So getting past how you log in, let's just assume we're past that point. When you open up ACT, you are going to see information that is very similar to a business card. It's contact information. So the most fundamental thing you can do with ACT is hold contact information. You know, their name, address, phone numbers, mobile number, email address, things of that nature. So when you first come into ACT, that's what you're going to find. But then the next step, once there's information in ACT, is now how do you find information when you need it? Well, one of the things about ACT is you can look up things based on any of the fields you see in ACT. If you want to look up things based on the department, you can. If you want to base it on the city and do a lookup of all the people in New York, you can. If you want to find all the people in a specific state, you could do that. So you can look up information. And to illustrate that, I'm going to go up to lookup, and I'm going to go down to where it says first name. Now, if you have a field in ACT, these are the most common fields, but if you have a field you don't see in this list, you're going to click on other fields. More on that later. But in this case, I'm just going to click on first name, and a box is going to pop up. And I'm going to type in the name John. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search this entire database for all the people whose name is John, and I'm going to click OK. And when I do that, it's going to return all the contacts whose first name is John. ACT has two ways you can view information. When you do a lookup of multiple contacts, it's going to show you a list view. And you'll notice up here, this is a dark blue. The detail view is sort of the business card view of that contact. So when you come into ACT, you can see that there's 174 people whose first name begins with John. If I want to go back to the list view, I can go right here and see all the people on the list and scroll up and down. So the first thing that I want to point out to you is when you put a contact in ACT, you can find that contact by doing a lookup. Now, once you have that lookup in front of you, what do you do with it? In my next tutorial, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit more detail, just so you can get a sense of, okay, you've got these contacts in here. Next, you did a lookup. Next, the most common thing you're going to do is enter a contact. So what do you do with that? Well, that's the next step. So we have existing data, and now you want to enter some new data or a new contact. We'll talk about that in the next tutorial. Thank you everyone for being here. I hope you have a great day. Bye now.